Firstly, I'm wetting the entire page. Then I'm dabbing some cadmium yellow medium hue, new gamboge, and Perol scarlet here and there onto the paper. I'm painting quickly at this stage. Now I'm adding a little bit of phthalo blue. Don't add too much though. Phthalo blue has a very high tinting strength, so just a little is enough. Next, I'm loading some wisteria from Daniel Smith and dabbing it here and there around the page. This color is slightly opaque, so it helps build some soft, hazy areas. I'm also adding a little green apatite genuine here and there on the page as well. I'm just trying to build a lot of color variety. Now I'm loading some ultramarine blue with a thick consistency on a fairly wet brush. I'm also mixing in a little phthalo blue. I'm intentionally painting around some of these warm reddish areas. Ultramarine blue spreads easily, so add it little by little to keep it from taking over the whole page. At this stage, the paper is still very wet, so you can rinse your brush, pick up more paint if you want. Of course, it also depends on how quickly your paper dries and how quickly you paint. In general, you want the amount of water on your brush to be roughly the same as the amount of water on the paper. When you put the brush down, the water shouldn't suddenly spread out onto the paper, and the brush shouldn't be so dry that it pulls too much water out of the paper. As long as the two are roughly balanced, you'll be fine. Now I'm using a clean, damp brush to lift a few areas of color. I'm mainly lifting around these orangey patches. This step may take a little bit of time. The important thing is to keep your brush clean and fairly dry. Otherwise, you may disturb the colors you've already painted and affect the whole painting. Before the paper gets any drier, I'm strengthening some of the blue areas by adding a little more phthalo blue. At this stage, the paper is only slightly damp, so be careful not to add any extra water to your brush. Now I'm using a clean, dry brush to lift a little more color in this area. I rinse the brush, then dry it thoroughly on a clean napkin before lifting again. I'm rinsing the brush again and then lifting a few more areas. When you're lifting the paint, try to follow roughly the same direction like this. Each time, I'm just repeating the same process. Rinse, dry, and lift. You can also blend out the paint a little here and there to create softer, smoother transitions. At this stage, the paper is getting even drier. Now, I'm lightly wetting this area first to create a soft boundary. Then I'm loading some ultramarine blue and painting right along the part I just wetted. Now I'm doing the same thing over here. This area is close to the edge of the paper. I didn't pre-wet it this time and directly dab the paint on it. After laying down the color, I'm extending it a little using the same brush with just a little more moisture. I'm just softening this area a little, refining it a bit, and you can see the bleeding disappears quite easily. Now I'm moving on to this second jellyfish. As I'm extending the color, I'm also lightly wetting the neighboring area so everything will blend together more naturally. You can see a little bleeding here because the orange paint was already completely dry when I re-wetted this edge. It doesn't really matter, it's not a big issue here. Then I'm drying the brush slightly again and refining the shape a little. I'm taking this part a little more slowly because I didn't really have a fixed plan for this painting. I'm just painting as I go and seeing how it turns out. I'm mainly trying to create smooth, natural transitions into the background. I'm tweaking it a little bit more, and if the color dries a little lighter, I'm just strengthening it again. I'm still incorporating the same phthalo blue and ultramarine blue colors around the background to create a bit more color variety. This part may take a little while because between strokes I'm taking the time to decide what to paint next. Now I'm deepening the color again. Now I'm taking a damp, clean brush to lift some of the areas here. Every time I lift with the brush, I blot the color off on a clean, dry napkin. I don't always have to rinse the brush, because sometimes just blotting is enough. But if you're unsure, you can rinse the brush. That'll just add a few more steps. And then I'm just refining some areas here and there. After rinsing, I also clean up a little bit of this orangey area. Now I'm lifting some of the colors from the lower part of the jellyfish to shape the flowing tentacles. Now, I'm lifting some colors here on this first main jellyfish. I'm creating a little highlight here, while also shaping the form of this jellyfish, especially the bell. Now I'm taking a wet brush and gently dabbing this area with water. Then I'm adding a little bit of ultramarine blue to fill in this area and strengthen the color. I'm also adding a little bit more color to the other areas. Since I didn't pre-wet this area, I'm using a watery diluted brush to soften it a little bit more and create a natural transition like this. Then I'm adding a little bit more phthalo blue here to define the clear edge of the jellyfish and deepen the color in this area with a second layer. Now I'm rinsing the brush with clean water, blotting the extra water off on the napkin, and starting the lifting process again. Be careful with phthalo blue because it has a very high tinting strength, so I'm taking extra care when lifting the color, otherwise it can stain areas where you don't want it to. Now, I'm deepening this area little by little because I didn't have a clear plan before painting. If you're following along, you can paint these areas in one go if you feel comfortable doing so. And I'm taking extra care when it comes to this boundary area. Now I'm adding more colors as the paper continues to dry. This will help strengthen the color and create a better result. Now I'm using a diluted brush to soften the boundary of this darker area. While I was painting the background, this top part of the tentacles became slightly drier. So now I'm taking a thinner brush loaded with phthalo blue to outline this area, refine the shape, and strengthen the boundary with a darker, thicker consistency. Make sure to use another brush to soften the edge after adding this darker color. I just add the color and see how it goes, and then decide whether I want to add another layer of this color again. And I'm refining the boundary again. Be very careful because the paper is not completely dry yet. Keep an eye on the amount of water on your brush and keep the amount of water to a minimum each time during this process. After several rounds of refining, this area will become more eye-catching and stand out more. Since phthalo blue can sometimes be used in a very thick consistency, and the painting process involves a lot of moving the paper around, you can easily smudge it elsewhere on the paper without noticing. Now I'm using some diluted white ink, mixed by adding only a very tiny amount of water. This version is easier to work with because the added water makes it flow more smoothly. And now I'm just adding a few dots here. Then I'm using a clean, dry napkin to lift some of the white ink. This will create a softer bubble effect. Then I'm painting this area again and lifting the color again. Don't use the same spot on the napkin, just in case the white ink that you lifted in the previous step gets transferred back onto the paper when you press it again. Now I'm adding a little bit more water to paint some more bubbles. This diluted version is perfect for creating bubbles with a slightly translucent effect. I can paint more bubbles like this, and then add a few concentrated dots here and there. At this moment, the paper is almost completely dry, so you won't see much spreading effect here. You don't need to add too many of these white bubbles. Keep it simple. Just a few will be enough.